Super Bowl week, and we appreciate you hanging out with us, all of you, Chiefs Kingdom, because I cannot be more excited for Super Bowl 58 for the Chiefs taking on the Niners. And I'm telling you, if you want Super Bowl coverage you cannot find anywhere else on YouTube, well, you're in the right spot. Because if you subscribe today, we have interviews coming out later today. We have live shows on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday with interviews from Radio Row that you cannot get anywhere else. So hit that subscribe button for the best Super Bowl 58 coverage on YouTube right here on the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Jay Sanders, and let's talk about some injuries here to start off today's show with Joe Thuney, Sky Moore, and Jerick McKinnon. Now, all three of these guys were listed as questionable. This was just an estimate, as obviously you were only required to guess what would have happened on Sunday. So, as of right now, Thuney with his pectoral injury, Sky Moore with that knee, and McKinnon were all listed as questionable. Now, McKinnon, new name. We talked about him on Saturday. Here's kind of the rundown of what went down. So he was placed on injured reserve back on December 24th with a groin injury. He had missed time previously in the year with that same groin injury, and he was rumored to be done for the season around the start of the playoffs. Now, that was kind of a surprise to all because, well, I thought maybe he could come back. Guess what? He surprised everybody by saying that his 21-day practice window is open this past Saturday and has a potential to play in Super Bowl 58. Now, I go back here. He was rumored to be done for the season. This was kind of the tweet that maybe had people thinking. Lance the Spoken tweeted out, "I hate the Jerick McKinnon news so much. We've probably seen the last game he'll ever play in the Chiefs uniform." He responded to this tweet saying, "Is that what you believe?" Now, of course, everybody was thinking, okay, well, he's a free agent. Maybe he's just talking that he's going to sign back with the Chiefs next year. But maybe he knew more than other people would. Maybe he knew that there was a shot that if the Chiefs could just make the Super Bowl, which they now have, that he would be able to play in the game. Now, we'll still have to see, and honestly, if you ask me, I don't think he will play just because if we look at the Chiefs' injuries and the way they've kind of gone about it this year, if you're on IR, when that practice window gets opened up, they usually give you a week to rest. This is obviously a different scenario with the Super Bowl being this week, the last game. What exactly will they do? You'll have to wait and find out, I guess. Let's talk about the 49ers injury news because there is some important guys on here too. So George Kittle, Burksum, Ambry Thomas, and Arik Armstead, all of them were listed again as non-participants in practice this past Friday. Orion Burks and Ambry Thomas played a little bit, had limited participation, but Armstead and Kittle, yeah, they did not practice Friday at all, which is probably the two more important players. Now, Ambry Thomas has been a good cornerback, I think, in the regular season, but in the postseason, it wasn't exactly a smooth sailing ride for Thomas. So, honestly, if you're the Chiefs, I think I'd rather watch him play. But Kittle and Armstead, big names that potentially could be questionable. Obviously, from what I've heard, it's the Super Bowl. They're going to play. To what extent that will be, though, we don't exactly know. But that's not the only weapons they have. They have weapons all across the field. So I asked this question. Is there a 49er that the Chiefs need to shut down in Super Bowl 58 to get the victory? I want you to let me know in the comment section of today's video. Give me a 49er that the Chiefs need to shut down in Super Bowl 58. Leave that in the comments of today's video. Let's go into some key players for this game and why I think these four Chiefs need to play better than maybe anybody else on the field. The first one is Isaiah Pacheco. We've talked about him all postseason. He scored a touchdown in all three games. He needs to continue his success against the Niners defense, who has been less than stellar against the running game. And we've seen this a lot, but I want to show it to you again. When Isaiah Pacheco carries the ball more than 15 times in a game, Chiefs are 10-2. When he carries it less than 15 times a game, they're 2-3. Listen, I'm not saying that if you give Pacheco the ball 15 times, the Chiefs automatically are going to win. But I do think it's something to note that you watch this and say, okay, we know that if we feed him the ball, he starts to get going. It's a pretty good shot we can come out with the victory. And I think especially like I mentioned, this 49ers rushing defense has not been good, especially in the playoffs. We look at the Lions, David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. They combined for over 140 yards, almost 140 yards, on combined 25 or 27 carries. 2 touchdowns between them as well. Also, the Jameson Williams touchdown was technically rushing. That was 40 yards. And then Aaron Jones went for 100 yards against them as well. Listen, I'm telling you, Isaiah Pacheco is going to need to have a good game, and that's exactly why I'm going to put some prize picks on him and get my $100 deposit match by going to prizepicks.com/CLNS and using that code CLNS. Now, if you don't know what Prize Picks is, it's the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America, and they are the easiest and most exciting way to play DFS. It's just you against the numbers. Instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, you pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you watch the winnings roll in. Now, I mentioned Isaiah Pacheco and exactly why I think he is going to score. Well, it's because of that Niners defense. So I have the more on half a rushing and receiving touchdown. You see that half a passing yard put Patrick Mahomes 99% off. Go get it while it lasts. Prize Picks more. It's a deal they're doing for Super Bowl 58. Go put that in. And then Christian McCaffrey, the last one here on my entry. The Chiefs have been a little, let's say, suspect when it comes to receiving backs. I think Christian McCaffrey is going to get 35. He did it last game against the Lions. He did it in the last game of the regular season. I expect him to do it again against the Chiefs, against, like I said, a less than stellar receiving back defense. Now, you can go get that $100 deposit match by going to prizepicks.com/CLNS and using the code CLNS. Now, testing my skills on Prize Picks this season, what's been the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports? And if you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Now, obviously, you have that Patrick Mahomes thing, 99% off, but they also offer weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday, where each Tuesday, Prize Picks will discount a select player's projection of up to 25% to provide even more value. Get that $100 deposit match by going to prizepicks.com/CLNS and using the code CLNS for a first deposit match of $100. Like I said, shout out to Prize Picks. It's daily fantasy sports made easy. Go down, get that link in the comment section of this video. The next key player to look at is Sneed. And why exactly is he key? Well, because he's been the best cornerback in the National Football League. I'm going to say it. I think he has been. And his opponent this week, maybe one of the best receivers in the National Football League, Deebo Samuel. 10 receptions for 113 yards in the postseason. And that includes him being a little banged up throughout it. Obviously, had the thing happen in the Packers game, was questionable for a while with the Lions game, ended up playing. 10 for 113, though, pretty dang good. But we know what Sneed has done. He has shut down the top receivers in the National Football League time after time after time again. A.J. Brown, 1 reception, 8 yards. DJ Moore, 3 for 41. Stephon Diggs, 4 for 24, and he played Stephon twice. This was his better game. His other game, 21 yards. Justin Jefferson, 3 receptions, 28 yards. He's also only allowed 1 touchdown in coverage all year long, and it was against the Bills in that divisional matchup on a really kind of great play by Josh Allen and Shakir, to be quite honest with you. It wasn't anything Sneed did. So I ask you this question. He's done great all year, but will Sneed allow a touchdown in the Super Bowl? I want you to type Y for yes if you think he will. Type N for no if you think he won't. I'm telling you, the way he's played all year, I want to see 1,000 no's in the comment section of today's video. So get down there, type it in. It takes 2 seconds. In fact, I'm going to give you a second to do it real quick here too. Let's go to our third player to watch, and that is Travis Kelce, the tight end. Now, I know he's always an important guy to watch, and you have to look at him as he's the one who could help the offense get going. But in the postseason, he just gets it to another level, is the best way to describe it. He's played in 17 games, which in theory is a season worth of postseason games with Patrick Mahomes. Look at those stats. I want you to just take a second and just embrace how good those are. 1,500 yards, 11 plus on the average, 18 touchdowns, more touchdowns than game played, and 133 receptions. Listen, I know he's going to be huge in every game, but he will especially be big in this one because I know when the lights shine bright, Mahomes goes to his favorite target. We saw it in Super Bowl 54 when Kelce scored against the 49ers, and I expect him to be used in a lot of different situations in this game as well. We know that the receiving core for the Chiefs have had its struggles, which is why Kelce will be bracketed. He'll have people all over him. But I still think, as Travis Kelce, he's going to find those soft spots in the zone. He's going to get receiving yards. It's just a matter of if he can make sure he hauls in the catch and gets a lot of yards after it. The fourth guy to watch is Mike Dana. Now, obviously, you look at the top 3 thinking, how does this guy fit in? Well, he fits in because of the Charles Omenihu injury. Now, obviously, him tearing his ACL was brutal to the Chiefs and everything that they kind of really built on their defensive line with the way he had played over the last 11 games. But Mike Dana was really good. People kind of discount him for what he did this season. And now he's going to have a more pivotal role in this game. Obviously, Omenihu is not going to be able to be replaced. You can't. But Dana, who has played the edge a lot this year, will now have more of a, I'm going to say, pivotal role. Obviously, we'll see Felix and Uduke Uzoma in there a couple times, according to Coach Spags. But Dana overall is going to be the guy that I'm watching on the edge saying, okay, how are we going to compare this to Charles Omenihu? How is he going to play compared to what Charles Omenihu could have done? Obviously, it's ifs and buts, but hey, still got to watch out for him. I want you to get in the comment section of today's video and predict the score. Chiefs versus 49ers. I'm curious to see what you all think. I'm going to give you my score prediction right after this. I'm going Chiefs 28, Niners 21. Chiefs are Super Bowl 58 champions. They go back to back. I'm telling you, I know that everybody wants to sit here and say the Chiefs are going to get exposed. The Chiefs are going to do this. The Chiefs are going to do that. Well, guess what? In the postseason, Patrick Mahomes has been just about unbeatable. I think he continues that. 2 of his losses are to Tom Brady. He knows what he's doing out there. And ultimately, there's this. Brock Purdy is a good quarterback, but he has not played in the Super Bowl. I'm thinking when you get out there, the lights shine bright in Las Vegas, it's going to be slow. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're going to have a lot of amazing coverage for you right here on the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. Interviews coming later today, so make sure you're sticking around for that. Hit that subscribe button, and as always, Chiefs Kingdom, peace out.